going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this one we're going to be talking about some of the meme stocks as well as some plays that we got into and some that we even cashed in from the Patreon and Discord. So here's what we had. We had the JKS swing, so that was entry on 827. That one did very well. Fiverr was a gap fill play I talked about. That one we cashed in for 50%, or some may have held it because expiration is not till 9/17. SPRT, we did swing that for over 100%. I'm waiting on a re-entry for that one. Tesla, we day traded, and also some of us swung it because it was looking very bullish. Facebook was a day trade. AMC was a day trade, and some of us swung long term. And then Hood was a put on some news that came out. So some of us swung that. I locked mine in personally just because it was an overreaction. We'll see how that goes. But my goal for the Patreons is to at least make you your money back for joining the Patreon. It's $10 a month. And some of these plays easily did that and more. Now we're going to get into some charts, TA, news, and cover a ton of stocks. So if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. Check out the Patreon. Check out the free Discord if you don't want to be in the Patreon. There's still a lot of value in that free Discord. And let's get into it. All right, first up is SPRT. And this one is up 38% on the day and another 6.79% after hours. This one has been an absolute beast the last week. I personally thought this was going to come down into the 20s and fill that gap below, and it still could, but today had a pretty solid day. So it came all the way down to 30, but then bounced from there. So that would have been a great time for either a day trade, that's an $8 move, or just loading up there and playing the upside. For me personally, I need this down in the 20s to feel confident in it. I do expect a large move coming for SPRT, especially when that vote comes. I see a run-up happening. I'm not sure what happens after that vote, but I did want to check out the chart, and this is being mentioned on CNBC. So it talks about how it was up another 38% today. It talks about the short interest and, how the ticker mentions have increased 66% over the past week on Reddit. So a lot of people do still believe in this. I definitely see a higher move coming, but we could still fill that gap below. So I would not overextend yourself at this 39.40 range because there is a lot of downside. So I'm looking to scoop these up for a nice entry and then play that huge run up, and we'll see how that goes. But let's check out the chart, short interest and call option flow. So here is my chart from Sunday and then today. So my predictions, obviously didn't pan out. I did want this to come down into the 20s and fill this gap. This gap is still in play though, which is why I wanted it to get filled. So basically I said could fill the gap or bounce. So obviously we gapped up and bounced right at open. Had a pretty good day, sold off a little bit, formed this cup. We could form a handle. We could come down a little bit. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with SPRT, but these gaps below is what's concerning me. We could see that sell off. That's where I would really like to get in. Anywhere from 20 to 25 is where I would start scaling in. I do believe this has more to go. This isn't done, but like I said, I would feel confident in the 20s. Next up was another big runner today, ZEV, which is Lightning eMotors. This used to be a SPAC. Covered them on the channel a long time ago. So up, we'll call it 18% today. The lows were around 760 with the highs being 919. So solid day for this one. Getting quite a bit of coverage saying is ZEV stock, the next big short squeeze. Talks about how a Warren Buffett-backed vehicle company has inked a significant partnership with Lightning eMotors. This deal could have a total potential value of around $850 million. Focus of this deal will be supplying more than 7,500 EV drivetrains for shuttle buses operated by Buffett-owned Forest River. Pretty interesting, and we did discuss this stock the other day when we talked about how SPACs were heavily shorted in the beginning of the year, and now we could see a lot of SPACs start to squeeze. So keep those ones with high short interest on watch, and maybe we get some really big SPAC squeezes or de-SPAC squeezes. Here is the chart for ZEV. Now, it created this huge gap back on August 9th, right there. And this is what I mean when charts like to fill gaps. So it came all the way back down, almost filling the entire gap, but today, had a pretty solid day. So if we look at the week, it's a little bit more clear what we're getting into. We can take this away now. So first support level 777, second is 690, first resistance 936, followed by 1008. So this is what I'm looking at. These lines, those are going to be pretty big resistance to break through. But if we can get through that, and that 12-1 is going to be huge, we may be able to climb the ladder here. So ZEV, definitely keep this one on watch. It looked pretty strong today. Next up is BBIG. We've been discussing this a lot lately, and this one was a little bit disappointing today, despite being up 33%, which on any given day is amazing, and another 6% after hours. I mean that it wicked $10 in the pre-market, so I do believe that people thought this was going to see 15 today. But just keep in mind that these don't all run on one day. This is going to be a multi-week, multi-month thing for these to really play out. So we did see $10 pre-market, but you're going to see profit taking and pressure to keep these stocks down. So I personally did sell my call options at the open, locked in some nice profits. If the profit's there, I take them. And then my shares got stopped out in profit. Like I said, these are volatile, risky. I would rather protect myself and always win. So I am looking for re-entry on this one. This article goes on to talk about how these are the latest meme plays, so SPRT and BBIG, according to Bloomberg. And these are, the number one trending stocks on StockTwits on Monday. So these definitely have a lot of hype and a lot of support behind them. I wanted to get into the chart real quick. So on the 15, you can see the gap here, and BBIG could come down and fill this, but as long as it holds $5, I'm still bullish on this one. So switching timeframes over to the weekly. This is the same chart I had in my other video. The falling wedge broke out huge. Then here's the gap that I just showed you guys right here. So the gap at 6.5 all the way down to 6. We could see that get filled. So this one's still strong. Above 5, I still like it. Multi-week swing. There's a gap below, so just be cautious of that. We talked about how this could be a huge target to keep it down, but overall, I'm pretty bullish on this play. All right, next up is AMC, and I still believe in this play. I think it's just going to take some time. There's a lot of bullish call flow. I believe the chart is setting up very nicely. I think that there's a lot of open interest on these options for a reason, and a big move should be coming very shortly here. Now, I did day trade this one. We got in at around 7.05, so about right here. It dipped a little bit, but then took off and took profits when we were up on the weekly contracts. Now, for shares, I don't have any shares. I do want to add some shares of AMC. I believe this is going to go to 50 to 60 pretty soon here. I did add a January call. It's kind of pricey, but gives me plenty of time, and I won't miss the move that I believe is coming. Now, looking at the chart for AMC on the daily here, 46.50 is going to be a big spot to break. But like we said, held above 40 despite that selling pressure last week. Call flow's great. Chart's ready. And yeah, we really want to see the break above 46.50 and then 47.50, and then 50 and so on. So we'll see how this goes. Really like AMC. I know a lot of people are watching this one. The MACD crossed up and still not overbought. So keep AMC on watch, obviously. I think that's going to be a big runner pretty soon here. All right, switching gears away from the squeeze stocks over to Tesla. And, when the meme stocks aren't running, you got to find backup plays. And I discussed that in the Discord and the Patreon. We had a few other plays today, and Tesla was one of them. So we traded this one. I locked in a few day trades today. We got some really good entries. And then I actually decided to swing some Tesla contracts, one expiring this week and one expiring 9/17. So I did lock in my 722.5, my 725 and 730 calls today. The profits were there. I wanted to take them, but I swung a couple calls, and after hours is looking pretty good. Now Tesla is setting up nice. It finally broke over that 730 mark that I've been waiting for it to do. We'll see if this can continue this week. MACD's crossing up. Tesla looks really good, and the bullish call flow was absolutely insane today. A lot of sweeps coming in, a lot of call options being purchased on Tesla. So maybe they have news coming. I'm not sure. But the news that I wanted to address was this autopilot hits a parked police car. This actually came out last weekend and really didn't affect the stock today. As you can see, it actually pumped quite well. So that's nothing to be worried about. Although, CNN just decided to drop it. The stock price really hasn't been affected. So hopefully Tesla opens around 738 tomorrow, or we could see a retest of around 730. I may add some more there. Tesla should print though, and pretty bullish on that one. Second to last up, a new one that I am watching for that potential squeeze. However, I talk about this one on the channel a lot. I actually really like the Tattooed Chef. I think it's a great company, a lot of growth ahead for them, and they're expanding. Now we know tons of people on YouTube talk about this stock, but it's looking pretty good. They have a high short interest, and the chart is looking pretty good. If you check this out, it did fill that gap. We talked about this gap down on earnings and how charts love to fill these gaps. So looking great there. First support 2014, 1926 is second support. First resistance is 2156. Does have a tough time breaking that. Then 2210 and over that, Tattooed Chef could potentially go see those highs from when it first became listed. I would like to see this go to 24 and 28. That'd be amazing. MACD's crossing up, and then we have the RSI approaching that overbought level, but we'll see how that goes. I wanted to show the 15-minute time frame. So it just shows it's in an overall uptrend. We could see this come down, touch 2050. It could go, touch 2150. As long as it stays in this uptrend, I like it. And I have shares of Tattooed Chef. The call options are quite cheap. You can play pretty far out for inexpensive at the moment. But once this thing gets going, I think over 23, then we'll start to see some more activity on this one. So keep Tattooed Chef on watch. I also wanted to address this article. Tattooed Chef needs to profit before its shares can move. That's incorrect. They just need some bullish news. I do understand that their earnings weren't the best. However, when people find out that they have high short interest, you could see some FOMO. We could see some targeting of this stock to push it higher. I really like this one, and I'm long on Tattooed Chef. Last but not least, ticker symbol ANY. Discussed this one the other day as well. This could be another big play similar to SPRT. It's a merger play, and they do start deliveries November of 2021. And this is number 4 on Fintel short squeeze ranking, I believe. So this one was up around 44%, ended the day around 22% up. I still think it looks great. Checking out the chart here, it is forming a cup and handle. It could come down and form the handle. This is my idea on it. And then we could see it, break through this 7.5. That's going to be a huge range right there. So there was a gap, came down, filled the gap, and then bounced from there. I really like this one. I'm in shares. MACD's crossing up. It is approaching that overbought zone, but I think this could be a great multi-week, multi-month play. And then come November, we could see some more action on this one. So we could see some selling off, accumulate some shares maybe, and then a big bounce in the coming months. Just keep this one on watch. I think the bullish call flow is great. The interest is good, and that's what I'm watching for now.